Hey everyone, I'm like 1 minute early, but that's okay, right? So it's exactly 8 o'clock, right? And we're here. We're about to talk about setting boundaries and expectations and relationships. And as you guys know, I'm Christina. Hi. If anybody is new, didn't see me last week, I'm gonna be doing these once every week from now until June 1st. And then June 1st, I'm going hard like every day. If you love it, put that in the comments. If you don't love it, I'm sorry. You could always opt in to not follow. But come in and you know explore what this is about. Like seriously, I was a little bit heavy last week. I think I was heavy, and it all started with a thought on the train. But um, this week I'm going to be a little lighter. Have fun, and yeah. So I promised that I was going to give a giveaway to a random person. Um, to those of you who come in at least 5 minutes within the live. So if you're in the live right now, post a comment in the chat, let me know that you're here and say, hey, what's up? And, you know, let's get started with the announcements. All right. So if you're seeing me now live or in the replay, I still want to hear from you. I still want to see your comments. And at the end of the live, I'm going to give you guys my email address so you could email me if you have any personal thoughts that you really don't want to share in the comments. That might be too much, too much vulnerability involved, right? But the purpose of me doing this is so that my friends and my family can see how I've been transforming and decided, like, I literally decided to do this um, in the middle of 2018. There were some events that led up to me taking massive action to change up my life. Like, if you're not experiencing constant transformation in your life, you only have one life, right? People say you have one life and you should live it to the fullest. Well, I do agree with that. I agree that you should live in constant transformation. And instead of saying like you only have one life to live, every time you reach a point in your life where you've transformed, that's a new life. So just to recap, last week I was asking people whether you are living your life in charge, or if life is in charge of you. Um, so I said that because that was like my thought on the train, right? And I really wanted to share it with everyone with full intention because I want people to think about what that really means to them, right? Some people commented like maybe they don't have enough time. Maybe they feel like they're putting their family before themselves. Um, and a lot of people loved my live, which I'm happy that they, actually got to see it either live or on the replay. Really thrilled about that. So, if you're in the live right now, put a one or a hey in the comments below because, like I said, everyone who sees the first 5 minutes will be getting a special gift from me, which I think will help people with their own transformations. So if you're here, say, hey, what's up? And just, drop a comment. All right. So just to recap um, on the announcements, I decided to join a challenge hosted by Tony Robbins and a couple of other great motivational speakers. Included in there is going to be Pete Vargas, Dean G. I can't really pronounce his last name. Like, I've been practicing it and it's just terrible. So when I'm there tomorrow, I'm just calling him Dean G. So the challenge is called ownyourfuturechallenge.com. It is 100% free and it's going on for 5 days, starting tomorrow through Saturday. And it's starting at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, I guess until 4. But you never know. Like, these things, Russell Brunson is going to be in on this challenge, which I absolutely love Russell Brunson. A little bit of what I've been doing for like the last 2 years. So I realized that in order for me to feel satisfied in life, that I would love to make an effort to help others who cannot see themselves getting through turmoil or major, major disappointments in life. So in 2016, my cousin Angel passed away, and I was just extremely distraught over that. We were very close as children, and even as later on, and when we became adults, it didn't matter where in the world, not, I don't want to say where in the world, but it just didn't matter where we were. We always found a way to reach out to each other, communicate, and help one another, right? And I'm just wondering if, aw, I'm just wondering if everyone can hear me. If you could hear me, say yes, you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up in the comments. And yeah, so so the challenge is called ownyourfuturechallenge.com. It's 100% free. If you opt in to do the VIP option, it's kind of like how they've been setting up those virtual shows during sporting events and everything. It's basically you on a screen. The whole world could see you, like, sitting in the audience. And everyone who's in the who doesn't do the VIP option, it's absolutely free to you. 5 days. Come in, feel pumped, because if you feel like you need a change in your life or transformation, whether you hate your job, whether you feel like you're limited to certain things that you need to do right now in your life, this is going to give you that fresh start, like a fresh start. So ownyourfuturechallenge.com. Tony Robbins is going to be there. Russell Brunson. Okay, I sidetracked. So anyway, yeah, so like 2 years ago, first of all, um, I want to backtrack to 2018. I'm gonna be a little bit vulnerable and tell you guys what I did that really made a difference for me, because I needed to do this for me and my daughter. I left a job that I was at for like 5 years. I really wanted to make that a career, but it just wasn't for me. And I started a new job in the position that I'm working now. Still a great job, and another good job. You guys know I'm always in a position, right? Doesn't matter. I capitalize on it and take it from there. So, for one, I took a pay cut, right? I was completely set on, I'm gonna take a pay cut because I need my work life and my home life to be in balance. So I did that. And then midway, I was loving it. I was loving the money, and then things changed, right? So this is where setting boundaries and expectations in relationships come into play. It's not only is not only set for like your significant other. It's really any single relationship that you have in life. It could be your employer, your family, your friends, co-workers. Um, what I'm going to tell you guys tonight is basically apply for any relationship that you have ever in life, right? So, I really thought about this when I saw myself not being completely satisfied with the relationships that I had in my life. And I'm like, yo, I definitely got to make a change because I think that there was like a disconnect with some relationships, right? This even goes for your this even goes for people that are in your life that are not even so much in your life anymore. Like let's say if you have the parent of your child, right, or your children, and you're not involved with each other anymore. You're going to really always still apply boundaries and expectations on them as well, right? So, um, in that aspect, what do you think would happen, right, if you started a job and you guys agreed to a certain pay, right? You and your employer agreed that you would get paid a certain amount, and then they told you, "Hey, you know what? We got to cut back on hours. Like, how about you come into work 40 hours a week, whatever it is, but we only pay you half of the money for the 40 hours that you show up every week, right?" So this actually happened to me before, right? I was working at the post office and I was making a certain salary, and all of a sudden the union and the post office made an agreement. I wasn't actually a permanent, like I wasn't a permanent position. It was still a federal position. I still worked for the post office, but um I wasn't like permanent. I didn't have any benefits. I wasn't entitled to any pension or 401k. So I was just basically showing up to work and getting paid an hourly rate based on the agreement that the post office made with the union. So now, um, so this was during the time when Barack Obama made it mandatory for um, certain, I guess, everyone to have health insurance. And where we fell in that category was that, or people, they we were called transitional employees. So where transitional employees fell into that category was basically like, okay, in a year's time, so in a year's time, you will have to have health coverage, and if your employer fell under a certain category, they have to pay into your health insurance. So in order for the post office to be able to afford to put thousands, tens of thousands of people um on their group health insurance and be able to afford it, we had to take a cut in pay in our hourly salary. So imagine you come in to work and then it's like in the next 30 days, you'll still be employed by us, but instead of making $25 an hour, you're going to be making $16 an hour. What? Are you kidding me? So, so of course we were outraged by this, right? Like some of us were outraged. Some of us were like not expecting this to happen. So one, make sure you have some type of health insurance. But if like let's say you opted to buy your health insurance outside of your job, right? Because you get to keep that as yours, you pay for it, you control it. Same thing with life insurance. You pay for it, you control it. Your employer, if you decide to punch your supervisor in the face, you will never lose those things because you're actually paying for those things. Unless you don't have a way to pay for those things, then you won't have it anymore, right? So, um, shit, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, so we were all like flabbergasted because you cannot simply tell me that in 30 days I'm going to be getting paid $10 less, or even, yeah, $10 less than what I was getting paid. Like $10 is a big difference, right? $10 an hour is a big difference. That could easily be $100 a week for some people. That's groceries for a week for me and my daughter. Like that's insane. Exactly. So, um, what do you think happens when your employer, even the union in this case, what do you think happens to that relationship now? Like, do you even trust them anymore? Do you trust the union to make decisions on your behalf? Do you trust your employer to even keep up on their end of the bargain? So, you know, I made a decision like, yeah, I gotta get out of here. Um, like the communication was probably there, but we were working so many hours. Yeah. We were working so many hours at that point that not every time you could keep up with the politics and stuff of jobs, right? So what do you think happens when you um don't set boundaries or expectations in any relationship with your significant other, your friends? Like, what do you think happens, right? You lose, you might somebody might in a relationship, somebody might cross a boundary and not even know because you never set the expectation, right? So setting boundaries in relationships are important because it allows you to establish how you want to behave, how you want others to behave around you. Um, and I learned that the hard way, right? I definitely learned that the hard way. Um, imagine when you first get into um, a relationship with someone, even like you're just dating, right? Everything is all sweet and good. And I told somebody that I was gonna make this a thing, like an actual course, because I actually was out of a relationship for 6 months, and then after 6 months, 12 months after I met my fiance, we were engaged. So we were dating and boom, it just moved so quickly. But so there was an actual method behind that, and it all had to do maybe with him a little bit, but it all had to do with me. Some improvements that I made within myself that I think was able to seal the deal. So anyway, um, in the beginning when you're first like getting involved with someone, whether it's just like dating or you're taking it to an intimate level, um, I would suggest, and it's really important for people to be transparent and honest, because if you don't have that transparency and honesty from the gate, later on, which is what people would say are the honeymoon stage, later on, after the honeymoon stage is over and a person starts to display their true colors, you're gonna be stuck aback like, yo, that was definitely not how you came into this relationship, right? So that's one of the main reasons why it's important to be transparent and setting boundaries and expectations from the very beginning, right? Um, Setting healthy boundaries is a great way to respect other people's feelings as well as different opinions and perspectives, right? So this is even related to politics with your family, seriously, right? During the election year when Trump was first getting elected, families were literally getting broken up because of differences in opinions and perspectives. But how do you create that balance so that you could agree to disagree, right? You have to set boundaries and expectations. You have to let the person and the other party know what's a hard no. Like, all right, we definitely can't take it there. We could agree to disagree, but we can't take it there, right? Um, so the way relationships are made stronger and connect, like have strong connections and bonds, are through laying the foundations, through like three simple things: communication, compromise, and commitment, right? Communicating, compromise, and commitment. Okay. Parents, if you tell your children you expect a certain thing from them, like let's say for example, me and my daughter. My daughter knows I expect good grades, right? Especially we going to school on doing school online. I expect a certain level of like completion. I expect her to do well. But if she happens to not do well, but gave it 100%, like gave it her best, it still counts as doing well to me, right? Um, but if I see like she could use a little bit of work, I might communicate that to her and I might make a compromise like, hey, you know, maybe you should limit the amount of time you spend doing this and focus on this a little bit more. And then definitely set like a tone where you're going to be like, okay, I'm committing to this many hours a week of TV, Netflix, right? I'm committing this amount of time to TV and this amount of time to schoolwork. Or let's say you're a couple and you're moving in together for the first time, and you could say, hey, this is my income, this is what I could contribute to the household, right? You're communicating what you're doing, and then you're making a commitment. If you feel like later on it's not going to work, then maybe you guys could compromise, like, hey, this is not working out too well. And then you talk to each other, right? Um, so one way you could set emotional boundaries is by saying, in a relationship, is by saying no to tasks that you don't want to do or you don't have time to do, right? You don't want to tell someone that you're going to do something for them, or like, I remember this happened to me. I told somebody I was going to watch their kids, and I couldn't do it. And it wasn't that I didn't want to or I didn't have the time to. I just really wasn't in a space. Like, I had a bad day and I was just like, you know what? I don't feel like being bothered. I guess that does kind of mean that I didn't want to do it, right? If someone is asking you for help and you could do it, say yes, right? If someone happens to open a door for you, say thank you. Little things like that go a very long way, right? Um, and if you're in a relationship, oh, this one is important. Supervisors and leaders and managers, right? How do you manage boundaries and expectations when you're leading your employees, right? You're leading your team. Even this is for network marketers too, right? What, like I say, like some of the things you could do as a leader or manager, you could delegate tasks, right? If if you're faced with reaching a certain quota or numbers or whatever it is, and you can't physically do it because it's up to your team to accomplish that, have a meeting with your team, right? Let them know, like, hey, this is a goal, right? Get them pumped to actually come into work, right? Let them know what you expect them to do. And people will probably show up, depending on how how dedicated they are to you and how good of a leader you are to them. Um, Another way you could set an emotional boundary is by protecting your time, right? Don't overcommit to something that is just you it's not within you to do. I'm gonna give a perfect example of that, right? Um, Someone asked me to help them move, right? They didn't know how to drive and they needed help with the U-Haul or whatever. And so I went out of my way. I rented a U-Haul, and I'm thinking like, oh, this is gonna be a quick move because it was like one location to the next. It was like only a 30-minute drive. So I'm like, okay, all I could do is get the U-Haul, drive. I can't do any heavy lifting. Not that I can't. I said I wasn't doing any heavy lifting. And all of a sudden, a person came out of the woodworks and was like, oh, but I need to take this here. I need to take this there. Like, this is from New Jersey all the way to the Bronx. What? I can't do that. And it was my mother's birthday, and you guys know I love my mother. It was my mother's birthday, but my mother actually volunteered me to do this, right? She said, "Hey, I said you could help them out. Yeah, don't ever do that. Don't volunteer and commit someone else's time without asking them." But it's my mom, so I let her pass on that one. But afterwards, I told her like you crossed the boundary. So anyway, it was my mother's birthday, and I'm thinking that this is gonna be a quick one, two, three. Like they're gonna load everything in the truck, they're gonna take it upstairs, and then I'm gonna take the truck back, and that's it, right? No. She's like, well, could you take this to the Bronx? I'm like, throw that shit out. Cause why don't you just throw it out? Like I'm like, I definitely did not commit to that. You didn't inform me of that before. So like, okay, I ended up doing it. I was pissed, right? And then at the end of it, the person offered me money. It's not even about I don't want your money. You feel me? I'm doing this out of the kindness of my heart. I don't even want your money. But not only did you cost me time spent with my mom, which the amount of money you gave me didn't even add up, right? But I'm also responsible for the U-Haul. It's like I put it in my name, and like I gotta take this shit back by a certain time, and now I'm not gonna make it. So you gotta pay for those fees. Like I'm not doing that. You definitely gotta pay for that. Anyway, long story short, the money that the person gave me didn't amount to the time that I lost with my mom for her birthday, and um those long hours of driving, like definitely didn't pay off. Um, so another way you could set an emotional boundary is by asking someone for space, right? Because you might get highly upset at like someone, your kids, your significant other, and you just need that space to like clear your mind and think about how you're gonna approach them. Even like even taking some time for yourself could be the difference between saying something out of love or saying something out of anger, right? Relationships, even at your job, is all about nurturing and love. Not so much at work, but nurturing relationships definitely do happen at work, right? Because if you have a boss that's like a scumbag, you're definitely not having a nurturing relationship if you think about them that way, right? So, um, yeah, that's really about it what I have for today. If you have communication, commitment, and compromise in any of your relationships, and you set boundaries and expectations, you will more than likely have more successful relationships. Trust me, happened to me. Still to this day, I use those principles, and I feel like, you know what? I might have a few haters, but that's fine because I did my part. But okay, I know I'm silly, right? So, Guys, let me know what you think in the comments about this live. If you see it on a replay, I still want to hear your thoughts. If you want to send me an email about something personal, right? Anything. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys what I did. It's getting there, right? As I do these every week, and then June 1st, when I start doing that every day, I'm gonna do it every day, and I'm hoping that my delivery becomes better, right? Because I think I've reached a place where I'm like doing this okay for myself, but like at least four people on my timeline had some drama. And it's not really mostly because like I'm judging. It's not really anything judgy, but I just feel like we need to have more love. Like we definitely do need to have more love in the world, and that's why I joined this challenge with Tony Robbins and the rest of the motivational greats that'll be there for the next 5 days starting tomorrow, because like they're starting to nurture like what they do um as a profession. One, most of them are self-taught, and I'm a strong believer in that. If you're having some type of barrier or obstacle in your life that you really can't see yourself pushing through, the best way to get through it is to educate yourself, to learn about your own feelings, your own emotions, learn about other, you know, philosophies out there. Like I saw this interview between Tony Robbins and Russell Brunson, and it was just like um he named it The Art of Fulfillment and the Science of Success. And when you think about that, like it goes back to my message last week. If you don't take control of your own life, and you don't know how to steer your life in the right direction, somebody else is going to do it for you, and you're going to be really unhappy, right? You can have the greatest job and get paid well, but if you don't dictate the hours that you work, and it's really making your family miserable, then are you really owning your life? Your job is owning you, because they pay you, right? They take care of your family, and they tell you what hours to work, and your family is really unhappy, but at the end of the day, you're providing for your family. Those are sacrifices that you make to take care of yourself and your family that maybe you're not really that happy doing. So it's ownyourfuturechallenge.com tomorrow starting at 2 p.m. I actually took 4 vacation days just to do this challenge. Seriously. Because since 2019, like I've been going hard. I like I like my job, but just not that much. I feel like I could do something that is impacting people on another level, like through showing love, like actually loving people, taking the time to understand their situations, um, showing them how they could have other options, like showing them that they have other options, and not by me showing them, but by actually people thinking for themselves how they could do something different in their lives and reach transformation and get to a point in their lives that they really would be happy with, really be successful at, and be fulfilled, right? So, Vargas, you got to send me your email because you got to send me your email, because the gift that I was giving for the first 5 minutes of the live was a month free of Audible, and that's my gift. So if you want to put it in the chat, or if you want to send me a private message, send me your email so that I could send you that gift. And I appreciate you for showing up and being committed to the message today. Hopefully everyone else that sees it on the replay, they love it just as much as you. But if you have a chance to um if you have the chance to sign up for that challenge, of course, if you have the chance to sign up for that challenge this week, and it starts at 2 o'clock, it ends at 4, but they could probably be really pumped and take it 3 hours or 4 hours. Like, I'm hoping that that happens, because I took 4 days off of work to do this, and it's not even, it's like I'm not even, I'm happy I had the vacation time to take it. Like, I'm super pumped to be a part of this. Like, these are some of the greatest motivational speakers in this lifetime, right? When they're not here any longer, they've left a legacy behind that people could still replay. How? Oh, thank you. Um, so these guys, like, these people, these motivational speakers, these, like Russell Brunson. Damn, every time I want to talk about this, I get so sidetracked. But anyway, 2019, I went on a journey. Like, you know what? I'm going to put my message out there. I'm going to show people that um, things that happen in your life and circumstances that happen to you are just circumstances. And the longer you play a victim to those circumstances, the longer you're going to be stuck. Okay. Um, I was a little bit vulnerable last week with some things that happened in my childhood and how I used to feel when I was a child. And I actually had some family members reach out to me regarding that, like family members that I don't even know. Um, that that's great for me, because you know, even though those things happen, I never let that be end all and be all. You know, I pushed past it. My mother is good now. We have a great relationship, and if these things didn't happen to my parents, like if my father didn't pass away when I was 4 years old from whatever he was going through with his life, and if my mom hadn't, you know, broken down and built herself back up again, I would not be the person that I am today, because I probably wouldn't even know what it is to be this strong, you know? I'm extremely thankful to my mother for that. And that was the other thing I wanted to say. Happy post Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I had a great Mother's Day with my mom. I forgot to mention that. Um, so Gil, if send your email to me, because having like, you're gonna get a free month of Audible. You could choose any book that you want to listen to on the go. And I truly believe that self-education is valuable to everyone. Oh, thank you. I truly think that self-education is valuable to everyone. Like, I didn't have this at home. I didn't have the knowledge that I didn't grow up with this knowledge, right? I learned it. And the things that they're teaching our children and teaching us in school, we clearly know today that some of it was a lie and some of it was covered up. It was not a lie. It was through one person's or one side's perspective, right? And that's the beauty about being an individual. Everybody has their own perspective, and um, this is a message for next week. But it's leading into my message for next week, that the system is created differently for people, and it's like Amanda Seals has been saying it. A lot of people who are in the media, politics, we've been saying that we want to change as a group of people, and this is why it's important for me to be here, because I don't like for people to be complaining about how the system is broken and it's not built for us, because we have the capability to show this system that it's time for a change. Off track again. But that's next week. So come next week and hear about that, and actually invite other people too, so that way they could get it, or you could share this video. That would be wonderful. That would be amazing. But anyway, so 2019, I made it my business to actually build myself and learn as much as I can about marketing, about selling, about being authentic, like being a better person, because we need better people in the world. We need people to be like the great motivational speakers. Um, and we need to start taking control over our own lives versus, thank you. We need to start taking control of our own lives versus letting people, corporations, systems control our lives, right? If you don't, and this is what Dean says, and Dean and Tony said this, if you don't own your future, somebody else will. That's what this whole week is going to be about. And I'm going to come on here, pop in every so often to, share a little bit of what I learned. But I'm also going to tailor it because, you know, I have trouble with public speaking and I'm still learning but I'm practicing and I'm getting better at it every day because I really want to make a difference to you guys. So also, if you have something personal that you want to share, oh yeah, so not only that, within this last hold on. If you have something personal that you want to share with me, right? I'm gonna tell you what I've been doing the last 2 years. The last 2 years, I've been studying digital marketing, um, selling, organic selling. Um, I've became a certified life coach. I'm actually getting master certified training through the Dave Ramsey program. I don't know if anybody's familiar with them because, like, I want to help people get rid of debt and know how to deal with the money because I hear so many people within the last 5 years, even 10 years, saying, you know what? We were never taught we were never taught what to do with our money. We were never taught these things in school. And in 2018, I had $20,000 in credit card debt. By the end of 2019, guess how much I had? Zero. I paid it off, right? Zero. You see that? Zero credit card debt. From 2018, I had $20,000 of credit card debt and I paid that shit off because I do not want these corporations being in control of me. So that's what I've been doing for like the last 2 years. Um, I'm mastering my craft by sharing information, things that I've learned, and soon, thank you, soon, I will be launching a 6 week program that I'm gonna do for absolutely free. 6 weeks. Um, and I want people to tell me like to choose. It's either you want 6 weeks of relationship coaching or you want 6 weeks of debt counseling, right? Well, not counseling, but actually financial coaching. If you want 6 weeks of that, I'll leave it up to my viewers to tell me whether they want the relationship coaching or the financial coaching. I personally want it to be the financial coaching, but I think I want to leave it up to the viewers. And that's going to be 6 weeks every week. If you're going to show up and you're ready to change your life and make sacrifices, then this is 6 weeks to get you started on that path. Both. Both. I know if you want both, you could get that. You could get both, but um just I'm gonna give you my email address. If you have something personal that you want to discuss with me, whether it's with your finances, your relationships, career, okay, so hit me up. I'm gonna be launching that soon. 6 free weeks of financial coaching. I'm gonna be launching that soon by January 1st. I'm giving everybody, this is official. I'm giving you my email now because for one, I'm gonna be sending out information regarding like how you could, minimize your credit card debts, get rid of that, handle your finances, your paycheck. There's a lot of people here living paycheck to Monday or paycheck to paycheck. And me personally, I budget out my money down to the dollar, and if I don't have it, I don't have it, right? And that's just really what it is. I'm not killing myself to earn a paycheck and then blow that whole shit at like on a Prada bag or Louis Vuitton. I'm not doing that. If I had Prada and Louis Vuitton money, it'd be a different thing if I wasn't just working a job. And this is where a job controls your finances because a job tells you how much you're going to get paid versus you telling the job how much you get paid and how much you're really worth. But that's another conversation. So, my email address, Crissy@CrissyInCharge.com. That's CRISSY at Crissy, CRISSY, incharge.com. And let me just write it in the comments so that way the people in the replay could email me if they choose. Just over broke. That's what Dr. Lynn Richardson says. Just over broke, and I hear a lot of big time speakers saying that just over broke. But for some people, it's like beyond broke because not only are you living paycheck to paycheck, but you're emotionally broke, you're financially broke. Like it's time to like flip that around, seriously. So this is what I've been doing the last 2 years. I became a certified life coach. Um, I'm here to coach you for anything. It could be whether you want career coaching, relationship coaching, financial coaching, and I took it a step further and got the master certified training through the Dave Ramsey program. Um, and that's been pretty intense too, right? That's been pretty intense for me because like I'm preparing myself to deal with people who are losing their homes, like to foreclosure, people who are fucking drowning in student debt, okay, that are graduating from universities and colleges and are in boatloads of student debt and not even making the money fast enough to pay these debts off, right? Because when it comes to your mortgage and when it comes to student loans and especially government loans, um, if you default on those loans and you don't pay those loans, they will be taking your house, your home, and leaving you with nothing, right? So I took it a step further, and I'm specifically working on getting master certified training um, with the Dave Ramsey program because I'm just in this. Like whether I'm in it to make money, like yeah, I do want to make money, but I also want to make an impact, right? Um, like I see myself a couple of months ago, I'm just sitting here like, yo, I got all these parking tickets, all these all these bills just waiting over my head, and mostly because I also did take a pay cut. I did take a pay cut to work my current job, but I'm like, yo, it's not really worth it anymore, right? It's not really worth it anymore to let a job dictate how much money you can make. Like, yeah, you could keep your job. Like, don't get me wrong. This is a public profile. If you see me saying I don't value my job, I truly do. And when I show up, I'll do a lot of work to show up to give my job 100%, right? But I'm also doing a lot of things in the background to give my friends and family members 100% too, right? Whether you hop on, take advantage of the 6 free weeks of the financial coaching. I'm recruiting like 20 people for that 6 weeks to give them 6 weeks of coaching, right? Of course, I want everybody to go through a consultation so that I have an expectation of what you plan to get out of the 6 weeks, right? Um, and we're gonna set a date and time for that. There's a link in my Facebook, my Instagram, my YouTube channel. Like there's links everywhere to reach me. Even my email address is there and it's in this comment box. If you're interested in 6 weeks of coaching, please send me an email. Send me an email. I'll reach back out to you. I'll send you a link to my calendar. Please, please, please send that email. And then share this with your friends and your family members as well. Because if I get an overwhelming amount of people that, really say, hey, Christina, I need I need financial coaching. I need relationship coaching. I need a career coach. I need a health coach. Even though I'm working on the health part because you can't coach a person that's like wanting to be healthy and everything and then I'm not practicing that. But I definitely will refer you to excellent health coaches. I've been learning with a lot of coaches that are um, honing in on their niche and putting in their valuable time to gain the skills that they need in certain areas. And one woman that I met specifically in my coaching program, her name is Leslie. I hope that she watches this or watches it on a replay. Um, you know, I just see her doing amazing things and I'm so happy for her. She's super creative. And I just believe that she's going to be one of the best life coaches you could ever hire in this industry when her time comes, right? Same here. I know I'm an amazing coach. But again, send me that email, share this video with your friends. I have all my links posted everywhere: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest. I can't even LinkedIn. I'm also in on LinkedIn. I haven't been on there too much because I don't really know how to use it that much, but I'm gonna check it every once in a while. And the reason why I've spread my wings to all these platforms is because I don't want anybody to have an excuse to say, you know what, I can't do this. Like I'm starting June 1st. I'm gonna be doing consultations to recruit people into my 6 weeks training. Like, take advantage of it because I'm learning from some amazing people. I'm I want to I want to be that person to impact you to get you from, like you said, just over broke to wealthiness, right? To being wealthy. And just over broke is not only financially, right? Being broke is not only financial. You could be broke emotionally, right? You could be broke physically. So, and sometimes like everybody has their different beliefs, but it's different when you have a life coach. And I believe in life coaching. I've spent money on life coaching. It's made a difference for me with just like I said, this thing with Tony Robbins, my own coach, the Dave Ramsey program, amazing coaches. Um, you know, I think I have like 8 coaching sessions with them throughout the whole thing. So I'm really preparing myself to take massive action and make an impact on my family and friends. Like if I don't get anything else from this, I want to know that I helped at least one person because that means that I'm making a difference. That'll just satisfy me. That'll actually make me feel fulfilled that I'm helping people. And whether it's the 6 free weeks or if you decide to hire me, like cool. But just know that if you get coaching by me, I'm expecting you to show up and be ready to make sacrifices and put your brain to work and be willing to show up the same way that I'm showing up for you because that's a coach's job to believe in you, to believe that you're capable of transformation, to believe that you're capable of getting out of debt, to let you know that it doesn't matter how much debt you're swimming in, you could get out of it, right? You have the potential to get out of it. Definitely do. Right? So, if you didn't get to see me this last hour, you know, watch me on the replay. I put my email in the comments, and my link is everywhere. If you think that you need to talk to me before then, you could book a consult. Like, my calendar is up. All right, but starting June 1st, I'm gonna launch my 6 week program. I'm coaching at least 20 people for free for 6 weeks, and I want to have official consultations with you, so that way I could document um what your expectations are. What are you gonna like? What are you gonna do with this 6 weeks? What do you expect to gain in 6 weeks? And I want to show up for you that way, right? I want to show up every day. I want to show up every time I see you. I want to show up with homework. Like, I'm going to be doing research on my end, and I want you to be doing your research too. There's going to be no excuses of time, right? Because if you volunteer to get a console, and you volunteer to commit to this free 6 weeks, that means you're showing up like you actually paid for it, right? Because I want this for you, but I can't want it more than you want it. All right. So much love. Gail, I hope you sent me your email. And you should be seeing that email from me in a couple, I want to say like 30 minutes, but expect it within 24 hours, right? I'm setting the expectation. You will be getting an email in your inbox within 24 hours. And I appreciate you all for watching. Share this with your family. All of my links are everywhere. Thank you. Thank you. All of my links are everywhere on my social media platforms, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. You know, come find me. I'm here. Love you guys. Bye.